Hey guys, it's March 15th right now. It's a Saturday, it's late afternoon Saturday, and this is an update on my Ataulfo trees, my Ataulfo rootstocks. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do, and I did this last year. It was pretty successful. The first time I kind of got the timing down right. So most of these blooms are kind of like, not sure they're going to make it. We still got some pretty kind of powdery mildew fungal weather for the next month. So what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be removing about 50% of any blooms right now. This is the middle of March. Last year I did it March 9th. This year I'll do it March 15th. I'm going to remove about 50% of the blooms, and then in April I'll remove another 25% of the blooms. And what I'm trying to do is get it to bloom, to rebloom at a better time where I don't have to do any spraying or anything like that, because I have not done any spraying. And so I'm gonna just kind of go by it real quickly to kind of see what you guys see that I'll be removing. Here's like some of the non-duckmine number 4. See how bad it is. There's like some fruitlet that kind of made it here, but I don't think it's gonna be any. I don't think it's gonna produce any kind of healthy fruits. And there's some more of the branches of like the California Remit. Kind of got destroyed by the wind and everything like that. And this is kind of one of those frustrating things where I've had years where I sprayed and sprayed, and I did a really good job of like bi-weekly spraying, and then rain and storm comes just at the wrong time and it just wipes everything out. If you look at these right now, you can see like all those panicles just got stripped of blooms. And that's why I really don't focus that much on spraying anymore. It's just a little bit frustrating, especially when the trees get this large. It's much more easier to do when the trees are a little bit smaller, but once they get to this size, it's a bit tough to do. So that's all the spent panicles. I'm gonna be removing them. And yeah, let's see, let the wind knocked out some decent sized fruit already. So this is the first tree. I'm not going to go too much in detail in terms of what's blooming, just because I'm going to be removing the blooms, and I'll show you guys how much of it I remove afterwards. Here's the next tree. Everything right here on this side is the California Remit, and this pretty fungal resistant variety and so forth, but I'm still removing it just to make sure I have that insurance of very nice healthy fruits getting set. Because sometimes when I don't, what happens is I get these nubbins, these little nubbins, like they never end up being full-size fruits. It's just the eating quality is just not as good as a full-size kind of healthy fruit, so this is kind of in bloom already. This is like the Laverne, most of this is like the Laverne Manila right here, and they tend to bloom late, so I don't see any blooms on that yet. I don't see any blooms on the I'm sorry, the Maha Chinook, which you see that large graph right there, that's Maha. And then let's take a look at Super Julie. So here's Super Julie, this whole section right here. Again, the bloom seems to be a bit late on this. Some pushing right now, so we'll see what happens. Oh, there's some blooms right here on the top. See that? That's Super Julie. And this is the Maha right here. Okay. Oh, look like I got some grafts that took. This is an Iman Basan, which I've been trying to get the graft to take. So that's great that I got this to take. Here's a M4 right here. That's gonna take. Look at the branching on that. And here's like the Laverne Manila. Just kind of pure vegetation so far. Not seeing any bloom. Here's the next tree, which I kind of took off, gosh, maybe about 15 foot of growth right there. I did have a few grafts that took. I made a bunch, but unfortunately lots of them failed, but I did get a few that took. This right here is a Julie right here that's taken. Let's see, there's a Juliet right there that's taken. And here's all the blooms. Some of it looks decent enough, some of it has powdery mildew. Either way, I am breaking the majority of these blooms off. You know, there's still this one branch left, but look at that. Lots of decent sized looking bloom, but I'm still removing them just to have that assurance that I get some nice fruit set. I'm leaving 25% of this on, so like if that sets, and that's great, you know, but if it doesn't, I have that reassurance of like the reblooms to set some healthy fruits. It's not something I would recommend for you guys if you're in an area that has a harsher winter, because you do get some fruits. I mean, I expect that these fruits might not even set fruits until, like, I would say June or July, which is a little bit late. And in my area, my fruits does kind of overwinter fine. But if your area is much harsher, much more harsher winter, I don't know if those winters, like they would make it through the winter fine, like maturing, or they might not. In my winters, they do make it through the winter fine. So I just kind of, you know, a late season, a very late season fruit doesn't really impact me much. Okay. Okay, here's tree, I guess say tree 4 and 5 is the rootstock right there. Again, this is Ataulfo rootstock. California will emit flowers for majority of the branch, but okay, it looks really nice, right? Really great, right? Really great. You're probably asking me, why am I still removing it? Because, you know, we're kind of gonna get into prime powdery mildew season. I am not gonna be spraying. Don't want to spray. I'm not gonna be spraying. It's just more insurance that I'll get some fruits off of it. Some nice healthy fruits. And look at this. This is a peach cobbler. Look at the peach cobbler right here. Peach cobbler. That's our peach cobbler right there. So the peach cobbler looks pretty amazing right now. But again, I am gonna be breaking off these blooms. Some more of the peach cobbler. There's the California mint. And then here's some grass that has not bloomed. Some of the shading prevents some of the blooming to occur. Okay guys, well, I'm gonna pause this video for a bit and then I'll be removing the blooms. Alright, thanks. So this is a sample of me just breaking off the bloom panicle, just kind of show you guys. All I want to do is just this. I don't use any cleaners, I just snap it off. It's a lot of that. So I do see a lot of these little fruitlets that set, but from my experience, they still kind of end up being nubbins. Even because I don't spray, that tends to be what happens. So some of this, like that has a cluster like this where it's a bunch of them, I'm gonna probably let it be and see what happens. But other ones that has maybe like a tiny fruitlet there, I don't really need it. I'm breaking it off, you know, breaking it off. But there is quite a bit of these little fruit set already I'm seeing on the California unit, at least. See, kind of like that. Quite a few. See, like this one has that. See, this one too. But you know, forget it. I'm breaking it off, letting it rebloom. Quite a few of those. Breaking off, letting it rebloom. And some of these ones, I'm going to let it be and see what happens. High chance that these will be nubbins just because of no spraying, but we'll see. Here's some of the blooms I removed. Some of these look so clean, right? But like most of these are like peach cobbler, and it does look so clean, but my experience with peach cobbler is like it seems to just produce a ton of male blooms. So I'm hoping at least maybe this triggers it to rebloom, and the next one will be a bit more female oriented, you know. So I did remove quite a bit. Here's the aftermath of a little bit more blooms, and like I said, some of them look good, but you know, I'm just removing to just make sure I do get a rebloom that leads to really nice size, full size, healthy fruits. Here's some more, and with this one, there was a lot of them that had like little tiny fruitlets on it. I removed some, I kept some. My experience has been those fruitlets, when I don't spray, it's just a bunch of little nubbins, you know, so I don't kind of want to keep them. So here's some more. Just break it off, and hopefully this will trigger another rebloom. That's kind of leads to a bit better, healthier fruits, you know? That's just been my experience with this. And again, I'm removing about 50%. I'm gonna remove the other 25% next month, just so I can make sure I get my timing correctly. Because sometimes I remove this a bit too early in the blooms, and it's still like in the middle of powdery mildew and everything. So this one was a bit easier to remove, just because they were like spent blooms or very diseased. But it was a little bit tough on you when you remove the healthier blooms where it looks good. Yeah, so this section at least was a bit easier. Most of the blooms were kind of, you know, spent or is really diseased. Okay, well, that's an update for this. We'll see how my timing for this year goes, see how the reblooms goes, and see if I get a bunch of any good, like, healthy fruits. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of fruitlets on my trees right now, but from my past experience, these fruitlets kind of leads to little tiny nubbins, especially when I don't spray, you know. That's my experience. So this is kind of like me removing it, and does kind of extend my season a bit towards, like, you know, get fruits that probably sometimes may not even set until like June or July. All right, guys, thanks everyone.